Morning, everyone. We are assembled today to understand the UBA SEG proposal mechanism. We have our guest. Now I request Professor Ravichandran to take it further. Sir, please.
Thank you, Sir Rahul, sir. Sir, Vice Chancellor, sir, shall we start the program, sir?
Yes, sir, we'll start.
Okay, sir. Professor Vivek will join shortly. We will start the program. Good morning to all. On behalf of Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University Gandhigram, Tamil Nadu, I welcome you all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University Gandhigram. Respected resource person of the day, Professor Vivek Kumar Co PI, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Learned coordinators, faculty members, research scholars, students, friends. Good morning to all. Today we are organizing this project proposal development workshop on Unnat Bharat Abhiyan for participating institutions of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. All the coordinators, you are having rich experience in different fields of science and technology and rural development. If these experiences are harvested, that would definitely systematically contribute for the development of the village surrounding these institutions under the umbrella of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. That's the purpose, and Unnat Bharat Abhiyan have been established, and you are all been integrated with this program. The primary objective of today's workshop is to leverage the capacity of the higher education institutions and you, the coordinators, to help the architecture of inclusive development of the UBA villages. You know very well that, and we are also circulated the information. The National Coordinating Institution, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, called for submission of project proposals on technology development and technology customization under various subject expert group. You are knowing that under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, we are having 14 subject expert group, and we are working with the six established themes. So the PI coordinators are expected to submit the project proposals, and the last date for submission of proposal under both categories is February 10th. In this context, today's program is designed with a project mode. The idea is to motivate you all the coordinators to submit project proposals under UBA, which will directly contribute for the development of your adopted village, that means your UBA villages. In this connection, I have discussed this program with our Vice Chancellor, Dr. T.T. Ranganathan. He is basically an agriculture expert. He agreed for the program, and he has joined with us to inaugurate the program. On behalf of the entire team assembled here, and on behalf of the organizers of this program, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. T.T. Ranganathan, our Vice Chancellor in charge, Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University Gandhigram. Really, he has been a motivator for all our UBA programs here. Hearty welcome, sir. I extend my warm welcome to Professor Vivek Kumar, the Co PI of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Sir, Professor Vivek Kumar traveled across the country and gained a lot of experience in rural development programs. He has addressed our coordinators several times. Whenever he is addressing our coordinators, I noticed that he has brought several new things to the knowledge of the coordinators. So that shows his interest to contribute for the development of the UBA villages under the ambit of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. His presence definitely will guide all the coordinators assembled here to prepare and submit project proposals under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. I extend my warm welcome to Professor Vivek Kumar sir. Hearty welcome, sir, on behalf of Gandhigram Institute, Regional Coordinating Institute, and the coordinators of this region. I'm really grateful to you because you have accepted our invitation. Hearty welcome, sir. Extend my warm welcome to all the learned coordinators of the participating institution, faculty members, research scholars, and the students, friends of this program. Many students have also joined in this program because we have informed them the role of Tech for Shava in the promotion of villages, the development of UBA villages, and the role of students and research scholars in the Tech for Seva. So students also showed interest in the UBA program, and we have started to motivate them so that future Tech for Seva, there will be enormous enrollment from the students and research scholars. Fortunately, one of the students from Gandhigram Rural Institute, she recently got second prize for her innovative idea in the North region held recently. More than that, University Grant Commission as one of the subject expert group in the community outreach program has identified Gandhigram Rural Institute as one of the master trainers center. So we have first identified 40 trainees, master trainees from 6 states from southern India. So these 40 master trainees are in community engagement also joined in this program. In this context, I welcome all the people for this program and enjoy the benefit of that. Not only that, and try to submit the proposals for the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. I hope this program would be a great advantage for all you, not only for submit the proposal, but also organize different programs. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to you all. If you have, the participants have any queries, or if you need any clarifications on the talks delivered by Professor Vivek Kumar, kindly put your all questions in the chat box so that Professor Vivek Kumar will help you by giving suitable answers for the queries. Now, with this welcome note, I request our Vice Chancellor in charge, Professor T.T. Ranganathan, to deliver the inaugural address and inaugurate the program. Sir, please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ravichandran. Respected our guest speaker, Professor Vivek Kumar from IIT Delhi, Co PI of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. My dear participants, almost I have seen in the YouTube that more than immense number of participants are participating from Mumbai, Parbani, Hyderabad, Aurangabad, Ahmednagar, Dindigul, Nagpur, Nasik, Akola, almost. So I have great pleasure that I am fully satisfied that many people are joining in the YouTube to watch our program and get the benefits of out of this workshop. So the participants from all over India and Tamil Nadu as well as from India and my dear students. It is a great pleasure for me to give you that is a inaugural address for this regional Unnat Bharat Abhiyan for the preparation of the projects for the UBA to be submitted before the 3rd February. So it is a great opportunity for the staff members who are working in the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. You all know, and you are having the or a passion towards that working with the people, because higher education institutes are now going to the villages to transform to transfer the technologies to the people and transform the lives of the people in the villages. So it is a great opportunity for the higher education institutes to go to the villages. In this aspect, there are I think our guest speaker is going to give a lot of ideas. Anyway, as I am an agriculture scientist, I have got some ideas regarding the number of ideas to be taken up in the villages. Actually, in our proposal, we have given the potential projects for Gram Panchayat in the region, not only in the region, all over India, because we have got n number of programs or projects we can take up, because sky is the limit. Because so as a professionals, and we are working in the higher education institutes, we know all the aspects of how to converge the activities of government as well as non-governmental organizations into the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So in this aspect, I can list some of the activities which can be taken up for your preparation of the project proposal. For example, now government of India is also giving a lot of there is in the budget they have given a number of activities to be taken up for the development of the middle class as well as lower middle class and poverty alleviated people. So in this aspect, uh, uh, you can take up the activities in the villages. First major priority is the water. So conservation of water. So for this watershed management can be taken up. And in the watershed management, soil and water conservation and restoration of the water bodies, as well as plantation of trees. Now, because the trees will give a lot of yield to the local people. So Panchayat can take up the planting of trees all along the water bodies. That is the major thing, because in our experience, we have worked in the villages in our projects. We have done planting oaks all along the bunds of the villages. That still they are the village people are getting the benefits out of that the trees from still now. For example, because our area is a dry region, because only 4 or 5 months alone the water will store in the tanks. So we can go for dry as well as drought tolerant trees all along the bunds, not to go for mango or guava, sapota like that. This trees. We can go for the, because we are we very much concerned about the climate change, and also there is a carbon sinking. Now, because we have to take any initiative for the climate change. For that, the carbon sinking trees like that is bamboo, then Pithasolobium. In Tamil, it's called Kodakapuli, Anona, Neem, Tamarind, Bamboo, Banyan. Because Banyan and Arasu, the Thespecia. There is a the Thespecia, the Pumarasu. So these kind of trees are they are releasing more of oxygen. That is oxygen means O3, ozone. So that's why this kind of trees can be planted, so that water also be that is saved, and as well as you can combat the climate change. Then likewise, um, there are we have to take initiative for the there is a water conservation. There is a zero water discharge. All the water to be fall on the village has to be stored in the village itself, so that water can be saved in the villages through the either in the tanks or oronis or small catchments or farm ponds or percolation ponds, whatever it may be. So we should not go water allow we should not allow the water to pass through go to the next next watershed, so that all the watersheds can be benefited out of water that is percolation into the soil. For that activities can also be taken up. Then another important thing that is now government is also initiating in the budget itself. They have initiated there is a natural farming. So zero budget natural farming. Subhash Balekar's concept of zero budget natural farming. For this vermiculture technology, then sericulture, apiculture. Suppose if the farmers or villages are adjoining to the forest or adjoining to the pasture region. Pasture means more number of trees. You can go for apiculture, because apiculture it gives a very good there is a yield as well as income to the local people. So, for example, in Kanyakumari, in the rubber near to the rubber estates, the farmers are getting nearly about per hive they are getting about more than 30 kilos per year. National average is only 7 kilos, but they are getting about 30 kilos of honey per year. So you see the volume they are getting from the single hive. So like in this region, they can go for apiculture, beehive cultivation. Then another major another important thing is that is sustainable agriculture practices. We have to promote the sustainable. Sustainable agriculture practice means organic farming. Then there is a no input farming. Then and also improvement of the local that is agroforestry plantation on in the all along the dry lands, so that they can take up, the farmers can get more income out of it. Then likewise, another important aspect of that is UBA is that is convergence. So convergence of activities from the departments of government as well as state government as well as central government is very, very important. For example, the DRDA. DRDA is the major agency through which we can get n number of programs we can converge. We are sit with the project officer, the concerned UBA officer can sit with the DRDA project officer. He will we can converge them because they have a lot of difficulties in implementing it. Moreover, they are a lack of manpower. We have manpower along with our staff members and students, so we can converge DRDA activities into it. Likewise, Women Development Corporation, in the self-help group promotion, Women Development Corporation. Further, there are departments like agriculture. Agriculture is the major department in all the districts. We can contact the joint director of agriculture. He is the project officer for the several programs of there is a watershed management as well as other centrally sponsored schemes of agriculture. So if you contact him, through them we can get number of programs in agriculture. Then horticulture department, sericulture department, they are giving a lot of subsidies to the farmers for the cultivation of mulberry as well as silkworm. Then animal husbandry. Animal husbandry, because farmers have there is apart from agriculture, animal husbandry, the rearing of animal, cow, goat, or sheep, or that is a major income, even many areas rather than agriculture. So we have to link with the animal husbandry department. For them, through them, we can arrange for the cattle camps, cattle health camps, because in the recent, because of the climate change and everything, there are outbreak of diseases, especially foot and mouth disease as well as other viral disease. For them, we can make we can give that is we can link them with for the organization of animal health camps, so that our students also be benefited. Animal health camp, then fisheries department. Another important department is agriculture engineering. They are having a number of programs for the hiring of farm machineries, because now the farmers are facing the problem of labor. Labor shortage is the major thing in in their villages. So for that, government is giving through the central government as well as state government, they are distributing more number of that is small farm implements for weeders or cultivators like that. So for to them also we can connect the executive engineer or as assistant executive engineer of the particular district. We can get the programs. Then another thing is forestry, because for forestry they have forestry extension centers in each district. So we can contact the district forest officer or the forest extension officer for that for that the extension department, the extension forest extension centers. Through them, they are giving the free seedlings to the farmers for the planting of the agroforestry the trees. So that also be converged in our program. Then another thing, in every district headquarters in the collectorate, there are that's agriculture and veterinary universities training centers. So if you contact the veterinary doctor in the veterinary centers, the veterinary, for example, the Tamil Nadu Veterinary University, they are having the veterinary centers in Dindigul collectorate. They are offering a number of training programs. So for the rearing of animals or maintenance of animals like that. So we can bring them for our program in that programs. And then another important thing is there's a exploration of the non-farm sectors is another, because and farming sector, apart from that farming sector, non-farm sector is because we can improve the there is employment opportunities for the local people through the exploration of geological indicators. For example, in Dindigul district, the hill banana. So the value addition of the garlic, even for example, Kovilpatti, the groundnut toffee, Karlam Thai, and then milk kova, then Sini Shevu. Like that, there are programs. So the farmer, they can get easily tie up, marketing tie up with them for to market their produces. Like this, the exploration of geological indicators is another important thing we can think of it. Then next one is there is a sanitation, health and sanitation, because sanitation is next to our food. Sanitation is very, very important. For that, we can contact there is a local health department. Through them, we can promote the soak pits, disposal of plastics for segregation, then solid waste management. So this kind of things can be taken up in through the health department. Then for now, government is even yesterday itself we have seen that they are giving a major push for solar promotion. That is so that electricity generation by the local people themselves. So roof water, rooftop solar. Today morning in the news, they have told that within 15 days they are releasing the funds to the beneficiaries directly to their bank account. So that's why through them they can save the electricity, as well as even the local people, panchayat also, they can save the electricity through the solar installation of solar cells in the panchayat itself. This way, for Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, there is a sky is the limit. We can say sky is the limit. If it is there is our, because we are in the better position. Many people in the villages, they are deprived of so many things. So that's why God has given opportunity for us to serve the people. So central government of India is taking, they are making us creating the opportunity to serve the people through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So we can also get knowledge, the experience, as well as knowledge from the villages by involving ourselves in this program. That's why even so that we can create a livelihood opportunities for the villages, for the better living, well-being of the people, local people. That's why at last I have to say we should be proactive. That is very, very, very important. We should be proactive, then progressive, then innovative, then commitment to serve to the people. So that's why with the love, because we have to love all the people, because people in the villages, they need of lot of technologies, because we know technologies, we have to take the technologies to them and disseminate the technologies. Through them, we can create for their livelihood opportunities. That's why this is a great opportunity. At the same time, we can we can take the government of India, government's that is aim to restoration of groundwater, organic farming, promotion of employment, promotion of green enterprises, solid waste management, government schemes and programs, gram panchayat against the climate change. Everything can be taken up through various programs by converging all the government departments, because they have lack of manpower. So we can take that initiative, and we will get the programs. Through them, we will get a number of programs. At the same time, we can also develop some of the project proposals out of this kind of. I have given so many listed. I have so many enterprises, so that can be taken up by our staff members, the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan staff to take up in the villages. So through them, you can bring the project, small projects is enough, because you can go for not to go for big projects. You can take the small projects. First, you start implementing that program in the villages. You will get a lot of satisfaction. So that itself will give immense pressure for us to help the people. So the objective of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan will be that is fulfilled through this. So this is my a brief introduction about that program. So I have thankful to the Dr. Ravichandran to give me an opportunity to share my views to all the participants, not only from through these WebEx, but also there are many number of people are many people they are joining in the YouTubes. I have seen nearly but more than 200 people they are in the YouTube now. So thank you all. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time. Is morning schedule. You are busy always with the scheduled and non-scheduled programs. Sir, for on behalf of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, extend my sincere thanks to you, sir. Now, before inviting Professor Vivek Kumar, just I want to share some of the recent developments in this region. Whenever new things are coming, we used to pass on the information to the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. And it is also just I want to share to our Vice Chancellor also. Sir, we are organizing medical internship program. 83 students participated, and we have covered 8 districts. Interesting, they conducted a small survey, health survey, and based on that, medical interventions they are planning right now. Interestingly, some of the findings are wherever education literacy level is high, there the lifestyle diseases are also high. Wherever education level or literacy level is high, the lifestyle diseases are also high. Wherever literacy is poor, the lifestyle diseases are nil. It is not poor, it is nil. So these are the interesting experiences of medical students. It is coming up. And because the medical students of one particular PI, it has been helped by other colleges. So all the colleges now they want to join through memorandum of understanding. So 4 colleges right now they have joined, and memorandum of understanding will be shortly taken up. We will invite you online for that program also, sir. And more interestingly, under the able guidance of our Vice Chancellor and the Registrar, Gandhigram PA coordinator, she has got 100 computers from a software company for distributing to the village panchayat and establish village knowledge centers. So shortly we are going to inaugurate the program under the able guidance of our administration, and we will also invite you to join online for this program. These are the recent developments, sir. Now, with this pre-note, I request Professor Vivek Kumar, the Co-PI of the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, to take up the session, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Professor Ravichandran. Thank you, Professor Ranganathan, for joining us today. And first of all, my congratulations to Professor Ravichandran personally, and then Gandhigram for organizing such a wonderful session. I think all other RCIs will also, will learn from this, and they will also organize such programs. So yeah, thank you, Professor Ravichandran, for taking lead. So you always take that lead, and probably GRI was the one when we were discussing with you, when UGC team was discussing, and when we started talking about identifying institution for capacity building in South, this master trainers program. So your, institute was a unanimous one. So I think a lot of initiatives a lot of new initiatives taken by you and your institute, and we really appreciate that. And very interestingly, today we started with, today we are talking about project proposal, and Professor Ranganathan actually has, touched upon all the areas where we can, our institutions, PIs can take up the projects. Right, so I will not be talking much on those thematic areas, but more I'll be talking about the fundamental base of a fundamental principle of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, on which these project proposals should be based, and how we should work on these proposals, right? But then I must congratulate Professor Ravichandran once again to you for this very interesting study you just made, and we all know that ability is inversely proportional to the rate, but now you have proven that there is more you study and unsustainable life, right? So read that study, whatever paper you publish on that, right? Okay, so I'll start with some of the fundamentals of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. What is the need of these SEG proposal and why we are doing it? So I think we must first understand the some basic principles of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So you always remember that knowledge sharing, participation, and convergence. These are our three basic principles, right? So whenever you take up any project, whether it is under our SEG or whether some other project through other funding sources, we always remember these three principles. So when I say community participation or the participatory approach, what does it mean? It means that whatever proposal you are bringing in, though it is a proposal of knowledge sharing, it may be a proposal of technology diffusion, but the need should be identified by the community itself, right? So that is why when we start working in Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, we always ask our institutions to start with, so we normally divide it in two parts. So the first phase or the first part of our interaction with the villages is village adhyan, that we call village study, right? So whatever means you can use for that adhyan or study, maybe we have, so for example, we have village level survey forms, we have, individual household survey forms, and then we suggest to our institutions that go for participatory rural appraisal, develop a lot of rapport with the community and all. So this first phase is very, very important. So village adhyan, so that you understand, not only you develop a rapport with the villagers, with the community, but you also understand the village. So this understanding is not only for enhancing the knowledge of your students and faculty members, but also to really identify the challenges, right? So normally what happens that we have certain knowledge available with us, we have certain technologies available with us. And then we plan that, okay, can this technology be diffused? Can this knowledge be shared with the villages? But first thing which was, we must identify that whether villagers or whether this village or the community actually need this kind of intervention or not, right? So this village adhyan, so I suppose whenever you are submitting a proposal to SEG, so you must have completed this phase one, right? So that is, you have already studied your villages, right? And then the studying means that you identify challenges. Of course, these challenges are the ones, those who, who have been identified by the villagers, not by you actually. So you just act as a facilitator for this process, right? And then you, with them, along with them, you just try to think about certain solutions. And out of these solutions, some of these solutions can be turned into a project, maybe under SEG or maybe a proposal you can prepare for getting fund from some other sources, right? Now, in the whole process, the second thing you must remember whenever you are implementing a project, whether it is a SCG project or whether it is any other project, you are just one of the stakeholders, right? What does it mean? It means that our role as a knowledge partner or as a higher education institution in the whole process of rural development is just as a knowledge partner, right? So we are there for sharing our knowledge and experience, whatever we have, right? So you are stakeholder in that project as a knowledge partner. Then for the implementation part, there has to be involvement of the community itself, right? So mostly the best situation can be that the project is implemented through the Gram Panchayat. But sometimes if it is a demonstration project, so suppose you want to demonstrate some product, then of course you will be developing that product in your laboratory. But then operation of that product, operation of that machine, maintenance of that machine, everything should be handled by the community, right? So they are the major stakeholder. They should be the major stakeholder in the project, right? So right from the beginning, you should identify that what should be the, there should be a clear framework of stakeholder involvement, right? So about the participation in problem identification, need identification, and I talk a framework for stakeholder participation in the implementation of the project. Once you design the project, and then there should be a framework for stakeholder participation, right? So these two things, so knowledge and your role will be knowledge sharing, and then the other things will be through the community. Third, another very important principle of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, that is convergence, right? So convergence means, in some sense, stakeholder participation, but convergence, largely we are talking about convergence between different government schemes, different government programs, different government departments, and convergence of funds, right? So even in this SCG proposals, many times we say that if you are able to get funds from some other sources, then this 1 lakh rupee or 50,000 rupee as a customization or product innovation, that can be just one part of the total amount of the project. Okay, so we always promote convergence, but that does not mean that without any fund convergence no SCG project can be implemented. It can be implemented. So some very small interventions where just technology demonstration or technology customization is needed, we welcome such projects, but we should always think of convergence. So when I say convergence, by this way you can plan some bigger projects. So many times our participating institutions, they complain that this amount is very small. So we should always remember that whatever fund we are granting through SCG proposals, either for technology demonstration or for technology customization, these are for some demonstration projects, right? For bigger projects, you must always look for convergence, right? And convergence is very easily possible because remember that these projects are going to get implemented in the villages, not in your institution. So as far as projects to be implemented in the villages, there are several schemes, right? For example, there is a urban mission, right? So there is a scheme, SAGI scheme, right? There are some components in Manrega. So wherever some technology inputs are required, or a number of schemes from state government, or let's say 14th Finance Commission, now 15th Finance Commission fund, okay, which is linked with the GPDP and VDP. And that is what we suggest to our participating institutions, that always try to once your study is complete, once your adhyan of villages is complete, then try to get involved in the process of this VDP, Village Development Plan or GPDP. Get involved with the Gram Sabhas, interact with them regularly and get involved in the process of VDP making or GPDP making. And out of that, some small projects can be taken out and can be, so their SEG funds can be utilized, right? In isolation, sometimes, okay, for some technology demonstration, that may be okay. But in general, I must say that your SEG proposal should be the part of the bigger plan this village is having under VDP or under GPDP, right? So these are the three things whenever you prepare a proposal under SEG. First, the need should come from the village. Solution should also be, it should get vetted from the villagers. 2. 3, there should be a stakeholder participation. When I say stakeholder, so the most important stakeholder is the community, right? So there should be a clear-cut role of that community, right? Of the community. And you must always close the ends. So like, for example, post implementation of the project, who is going to own the project, right? What will be the maintenance mechanism if some machine is there, for example, right? So this is the third thing. And the fourth, as I mentioned, that there should be a possibility of convergence. In isolation, some projects can be taken up, but it would be good if you take project as a part of a bigger plan, right? So these are the things which I wanted to mention to you when we talk about the SEG proposal. Now let me come to the striking rate of the SEG proposal. Many or I must say that most of our RCIs and participating institutions, they have a complaint and they always say that our strike rate is very low. So what does it mean? So for example, in previous phase, we almost received 2000 proposals in different phases, and we could only finance 183 proposals, if I am correct, right? Now, when we started this concept of SEG, that time, if you remember, and Professor Ravichandran, I'm sure that you must be remembering, we decided that we will not reject any proposal. We started a concept of revision. And initially we talked about multiple revisions, right? So proposal comes to us or to SEG, and then SEG evaluates. Then if they find that there are certain issues with the proposal, then they send it back to the PI, and then so the striking rate. So and the whole the format of project proposal is very small. It's a single page. This thing is only single page proposal format is there, and very I think very limited information is asked from the PI, right? However, recently when we been interacting with SEG, we found that we actually our aim was to get a very crisp proposal, because the fund is also very small, right? And we wanted that our PI should spend more time in understanding the field rather than writing the proposals, right? But what happened that, in fact, once we thought that let us analyze some of the rejected proposal and make a slide so that we can guide our PIs on that. But then we decided that rather than making a slide out of that, they just point out something. So some of the problems why these projects don't get fund, I'll just highlight some of these problems. So the first thing is, which is one of the major problem, that projects are related to some lab work. They're mostly part of some research project or some small work by some students in the laboratory, right? Though they are based on the village level problem, rural level problem, but their implementation is only being done at lab level, right? And they say that it is a pilot level project, so that it will remain in the lab. So you always remember that any of our SEG proposal can only be implemented in the village. We are not funding any proposal for laboratory study. Sometimes some laboratory component can be there. So for example, you are customizing some product, some machine, some small lab intervention can be there. That is acceptable. But ultimately, this machine or product should go to the village. I just take one example. So one of our institution in Punjab, they decided to, so students, when they visited, they found that there is a need of hydraulic lift. Okay. So they worked on that hydraulic lift. We funded that project. They, of course, fabricated this hydraulic lift in the laboratory. But once it was fabricated, tested, it was transferred to the panchayat. Right. So now it is being used by the panchayat. Okay. Another example, a proposal we received, someone was saying that he wants to test some technology for liquid waste treatment. Right. And the whole work is to be done in the laboratory. And then he was proposing that once this study is completed, based on the result, some pilot can be proposed in future. Such projects cannot be funded in SEG. I'm not saying that such funds are not needed, but what I'm saying that there is no provision of such funds in Unnat Bharat Abhiyan SEG. In fact, we can fund second stage of the project. That means if you already have proof of concept, already have results in laboratory scale, system, then the same can be implemented in any village, in identified village, and for that fund can come from the UBA SEG, right? So this is one problem. The project is actually not getting implemented in villages. So second problem. So so when we ask question about methodology, a limited space is given. The idea is that it should be very crisp and we don't need much detail about methodology. But in many cases, or a large number of cases, we see that methodology is completely missing. So for example, title suggests that there will be, we are going to implement a biogas or we are going to start a biogas plant in a village. Now in the methodology also, they repeat the same thing. So in limited limited words, also you can describe about the methodology. Means, for example, in this case, you will be adopting what is the population, what is the dung available, how much biogas, what you will be with biogas. At least something there should be there, because otherwise anybody can say that. So then there is no project proposal. So where is the knowledge sharing? And in fact, the mechanism of knowledge sharing is all clear in this project. So a degree college, so not having any expert in biogas, not having any faculty working on biogas and saying that you install, that means they just want to install a biogas plant in that village. That's absolutely fine. But again, you must remember our three basic principles. One of the basic principle is knowledge sharing. Where is the knowledge sharing in this case? This is a case of one identified problem, and that project should be implemented through Convergence, not through UBA SEG funds. I'm not saying that you don't take up that project. Take up that project. But funds for this, until unless knowledge sharing is there from your side, then this biogas implementation project should get fund from some other schemes. You make efforts for that. So this funding will come from UBA only if there is a component of knowledge sharing from your side. Am I clear on that? So this is one of the second, I would say the second major weakness in most of the proposals. Third weakness, we don't talk about, or we have not asked any detailed distribution of funds. Means initially we were just asking the total amount required. It was not asked in different budget heads, and we have not specified budget heads in our project format, proposal format, right? But what happens that methodology is not clear. It is not known to, I mean, it's not clear from the proposal how the project is being implemented. And then funds also, just it says that fund requirement is 1 lakh. So in many proposals, you are not very clear that how this 1 lakh rupees is going to get spent, right? So even if this some budget heads are not defined in project proposal, at least some minimum information should be there on the spending of the fund. I've already mentioned that because you see, we are talking about projects where we are thinking of technology demonstration, technology customization, or rather I should say knowledge demonstration and technology customization. But in many cases, who is going to share that knowledge is not very clear. So for example, if I just mentioned about the biogas proposal. Now suppose college is not having expertise in biogas, then they must be having some other knowledge partner, isn't it? So they don't, so in such proposals, knowledge partner is also not specified. So from where this knowledge or design is coming. So we are not against in technology demonstration project which are not from your institution. They are also welcome. But then knowledge partner should be clearly defined in the project. Okay, so this is our knowledge partner or this is our technology partner. So we'll be taking up this technology to the village, right? Other than these four, one is very general problem. Many times no information is there, just one topic is there, very brief introduction. Okay, so for example, saying that we will be doing some sanitation project, but how they are going to do it, nothing is mentioned. So there are, but of course, such proposals are normally sent back by SEG in the beginning stage only. Other than that, I think that's all from as far as the problem with the proposals concerned. And see what happens that when you leave lot of lacunas in your proposal, it automatically, because SEG will go through that, SEG will send it back to you, and then again you will revise. And if you are not seriously or thoroughly going through that format, then again you may correct one thing, again you will leave other lacunas, so again it will go back to you. So that is why you see it takes a lot of time, right? So keeping that in mind, now we have decided that no proposal will be revised more than once. Okay, so that does not mean that you cannot resubmit the proposals. You can always do, but revision will take place only once. And once after one revision, again the proposal is not accepted. So again, I am not using the word rejected. So if the proposal is not accepted for funding, that means that you need to revise the project from the beginning and you can resubmit it again, right? So there is no, stopping you in after this. Once the proposal is, you can revise and resubmit. But on one, then you will get a new proposal number. So this proposal will be considered as a new proposal, okay, as a fresh proposal. Okay. So that's all from my side. Yeah, sometimes we get a request that my requirement is not, my requirement is 1.5 lakh. Yeah, one more thing in that. So sometimes there is a request that, okay, please fund us more than 1 lakh. See, we cannot really fund more than 1 lakh because it is as per our O&M, right? And you all understand the government procedures. So even if proposal is good, even if we understand that, yeah, this proposal, this project really needs funding more than 1 lakh. We cannot fund a single pie extra. SEC. Second, always the scope of convergence. If you are working with community, if you are working with a panchayat very closely, I don't see any reason why you will not be getting any extra convergence fund. You can always get convergence fund if you are working very closely and if you are following the 3 principles of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan: participatory approach, knowledge sharing, and convergence. There is always a possibility, and we have so many examples where very easily our participating institution. But since beginning, but the procedure how they started projects was totally following the principles of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So they initially spent 6 months, 8 months in just building the rapport, then doing study, adhyan, then identifying problems, preparing projects, and then looking for the funds. That was the third step. Normally, what happens whenever our institutions they join Unnat Bharat Abhiyan network, immediately they start feeling that we must get some funding for implementing some project, because since beginning they are prejudiced. They have certain ideas in their minds, right? So for example, today Professor Ranganathan talked about so many thematic areas, sub-thematic areas. But that does not mean that you just take those ideas to the village and say that, okay, we had a orientation program where these ideas were given to us and now we will implement these ideas in your village. No. These ideas we can share while discussing the issues and challenges with the community, and then let community say that, okay, we want apiculture, right? So this is so I don't see any why you will not get any convergence fund if you need some extra fund above than over and above whatever we are giving, say 1 lakh, right? So this is one. And second, another thing we have observed that sometimes fund requirement is less than 1 lakh, say 60,000, say 70,000. And it is very clear from the proposal that requirement is not more than 60,000 or 50,000 or 70,000. But because and it's a common tendency, and especially with academicians, it is a common tendency. Whenever we submit a project proposal to funding agency, we always stretch our imagination, isn't it? We always try to get some extra funds, right? Although most of the time it is a fact that if we do a survey, we find that in majority of the project we return back the funds because we don't utilize the 100% funds, isn't it? But it is our usual practice. Okay, so that is this practice we follow in Unnat Bharat Abhiyan also. Sometimes we know that there is and the proposal is sent back because there is a clear, you can clearly see that fund requirement is not more than 60,000 or the breakup is 60 or 70,000 and the final demand is 1 lakh rupees, right? So this is another piece of advice from my side, that whatever expenditure, of course, above 1 lakh, we cannot help it. So you can always look for conversions, but below 1 lakh, whatever is the real expenditure, you should just mention that. Give some 5,000 extra is okay, right? But you should not stretch 60,000 to 1 lakh. Okay, then again it get delayed. So we'll send it back to you, and or we'll say that, okay, budget I mean, we'll not fund more than 70,000 or so. Okay. So these things from my side. Now I open for the questions. Thematic areas groups, energy systems. We have liquid waste management, sanitation and solid waste management, sustainable. Then infrastructure is another. This is one. Artisans and micro is one. Education is one. Soon we'll start SCG livelihood and on livelihood. We have other means. So, for example, we have I don't know with GRI we have ever shared the CSIR related thing. I mean, have you participated anytime?
We have shared the information. Some of the people
CSIR.
participated. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So initially we are expanding in the whole country. So this is going to be very, I would say, impactful intervention. So intervention related to technology diffusion for creating livelihood, right? Yeah. So now I can take up questions if we have some specific queries from our participating institutions.
So one question is there in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Please brief on technology customization and technology development. Please brief on technology customization and technology development. So only one question is there.
So yeah. So development is where you are demonstrating a new technology, new product, new process, right? Completely new. New means for that area, it should be new. I'm not saying that it should be innovative, right? So, for example, if you see there is this example of hydraulic lift is a technology development kind of project, right? So there was a problem. Street light was not functioning, and the reason was that there was no hydraulic available in nearby areas. So, right. So this is a technology development project. Technology customization. Sometimes you have some interventions are already there. So, for example, there is already a biogas plant in the village, right? And it is not functioning. So some changes are required. Some customization thing is required. So these projects we consider as a technology customization project where intervention is already there. So you have to do some small customization is needed, right? Is it clear, Professor Vichandran?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Clear, sir. And another question is whether we can take up the repairing work at the village school toilet. This is also regarding, already you answered for that.
Yeah. And see, it should not be a regular maintenance work. It should have some knowledge sharing component. See, again, we tell this to our PIs. See, we are not there for rural development. There are government agencies for rural development for taking up these projects. Routine projects should be taken up by them. We can facilitate. We are with them, so we can facilitate, right? So our role starts whenever there is some. So, for example, you say that we are going to do maintenance with some new knowledge. So we are going to use, let's say, some ferro cement, for example. Some new technology will be. So this will last for long, or some new kind of tiles we are using in the maintenance of this toilet, right? So then, of course, you can utilize SCG fund. Am I clear on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another question is shall the MBA students submit the project proposal?
Why not? Why not? I mean, see, I really, this question is not, so for example, are they talking about some market research or something like that?
Simply they called it. Please explore the ways to submit the project proposal by MBA students under UBA.
MBA, I mean, this question is not very clear to me. Actually, anyone can propose a project, but it should be, it should get implemented in the village. That's all. And it should have a component related to knowledge sharing. That is what I can say.
Another question is coming generally, sir. What about the purely technology development, technology customization will not be there in the case of livelihood projects. Suppose some training is given for enhancing this wage or income of the population. That will not directly come under customization or technology development. What to do this with this livelihood project?
See, currently, these projects cannot be taken up currently. Awareness creation or these skill imparting programs. But soon we are going to have SEG on livelihood, very soon, right? There we will decide if these projects can be taken up as a part of customization.
We should select a model village to implement the best practices and carry the same in other places. Like that one question is coming.
Yeah, I think this is a good suggestion and we are trying for that, and we always request to our RCIs if they can take up some village and make this village as a model village. Then people, so learning for others will be there. That's a good suggestion. IIT Delhi is trying with their clusters. And see, another thing is, in my opinion, there is nothing like model village. Because the moment we say something is model, we stop the growth. We just stop its growth. So it is always, so in my opinion, model can be some basic infrastructure is available, but then there is always a scope of improvement. Right?
Yes, some of the projects during earlier cycles, some of the projects were sanctioned by a subject expert group, and it was also approved by NCI. So what is the status now they are asking, sir?
So if projects are approved by NCI, the fund would have been released, right? But if the project has not been approved by NCA, that means, and project is, so there are two possibilities. One is that NCI did not approve the project. Two, NCI, sorry, NCI did not actually evaluate the project. So SEG, once SEG approved the project, it comes to NCI for review, last stage review, right? So if project is not funded, then there are only two possibilities. A project is recommended by SEG and not funded, then there are two possibilities. So in both the cases, I would suggest that you please resubmit to SEG again, and SEG can forward it to us saying that it is an approved project. Okay, and we have just modified our format. So please look at the new format. So whatever problems I was discussing with all of you, so we have tried to incorporate all those issues and challenges in our new format. We have made it more objective, so that information what we need should come automatically from that format.
Only the PI coordinator should submit the proposal, sir, or any faculty members in the PI can submit the proposal?
Sir, any faculty member can submit the proposal, but through PI. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to, because submit the project, no? Only with the PI. PI of that for this project, this faculty will be the PI.
Whether non-UBA institutions can submit the proposals?
I'm sorry, sir. Actually, at this we don't have that mechanism. But becoming a UBA institution is very easy. So I would request, I mean, those who have asked this question, I would request them to be the part of UBA. Just go to Unnat Bharat Abhiyan website, just apply. Within month, 1.5 months, you will be UBA. You will be part of UBA network.
Thank you, sir. That's all the questions available right now, sir. And one more question regarding what are the possible areas of PG students, MBA students for funding, I mean, for submitting proposals?
Sir, I think, as I said in the beginning, our idea of SEG proposal is not just having some call for project proposal. It should be based on problems identified at the, at the field. So when you go to the village, you study your area, you analyze the challenges and issues, the proposal, identify the problem, and then formulate the proposal, right? So answering this question is very difficult. So for example, MBA students, if they are going, so they can have, so maybe one group can say that, okay, we are working on a website so that this product of this will be. So I don't know how to answer this question specifically. And see, knowledge sharing can be that through so my request is
Some network problem, sir. Some network problem.
ये सर प्रोफेसर
yes, sir.
विवेक आप वीडियो थोड़ी देर के लिए म्यूट कर लेंगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, बिकॉज ये बार बार ब्रेक हो रहा है नेटवर्क.
किसके नेटवर्क में प्रॉब्लम है?
यस सर, आप एक बार वीडियो म्यूट. यस सर, या
now it's okay, sir.
Okay. So I think the question was on MBA students, projects for.
Yes, sir. MBA students. Yes, sir.
See, it's very difficult to answer this question straight away. See, I mentioned that proposal should be based on the ground situation and need identified by the villagers. It depends what kind of need and what kind of require. So whether this knowledge
I think again network problem, sir. Rahul ji?
yes, there is some network issue, so
Okay.
we have to wait for.
Let us wait. Sir, again it's a network problem, sir. I think so. Okay, Professor Vivek will join again, and meantime, two questions are asked about the project. One is, shall we submit more than one project? Yes, you can submit more than one project. UBA will take it up. They will first sanction the first 5 projects, and 3 projects first they will release the fund, and once the one project is completed, again subsequently they will release the other funds.
Am I clear now?
Yeah, right now, sir. Right now, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Please go ahead, sir.
yeah. Okay. So what was the question?
Uh, the question is regarding how to involve the MBA and MCOM students for projects.
Okay, how to involve MBA and MCOM students in the project. So again,
Yeah.
as I said earlier, that project formulation depends on the ground situation. So after studying the village area, after identifying the challenges, prioritizing them, and after discussing the solution with the villagers, you will be formulating the project. And every project can have a role of different disciplines. Okay. So it depends on, so for example, I talked about stakeholder participation. Now technology, say in any technology project also, technology based project also. So let's say we are talking about implementation of biogas project there in the village. But then who will ensure stakeholder participation? There is where we have role of MBA students, there is where we have role of humanities students. Making a framework for stakeholder participation, their help is required. Designing a biogas plant and just implementing it is not going to work. We have to make a maintenance plan. We have to make we have to think about sustainability of the. So it cannot be a work of say biogas expert only. We need experts from various disciplines. Professor Chandran, am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Anything
Yes,
else?
sir. It's clear, sir.
No, anything else? Any other question?
Whether one project for one village or project for group of villages like that, they have asked.
Currently, we have a policy that maximum to one institution we fund 3 projects and one project in one village. Not more than one project in one village. But one project for group of villages is always welcome. No issue.
And more than that, they are asking about applications. Applications are available the UBA website. Kindly refer it. And if you have any problem in identifying or downloading the application, you kindly contact your regional coordinating institution. They will support you.
Yeah.
Another question, sir. Can the projects on women livelihood empowerment, etc.? Professor Vivek Kumar just answered that for livelihood, separate subject expert group will be formed shortly, and that will be taken up during that time.
Yeah. And see, currently we have, because of revised funding of this whole program, we have some limitations on number of projects we can fund under SEG. But right now, I'm not talking about that because let us see how many projects we get and how many of them are really fundable. So right now, I'm not mentioning anything on that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Let them submit.
Livelihood, surely we will be working on livelihood SEG, on a more rigorous way. We'll try that if we can get funds from some other sources also for that.
Yes, sir. Okay, PIs are encouraged to submit our proposals on the livelihood also. We will see later.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think all the questions you have answered, sir. There is no more questions to be answered. You can say your concluding remarks, sir.
So, sir, I would always love to see more number of projects from your region.
Yes, sir.
And that's all what I can say. And some of our successful case studies, I can mention that are from your region. Of course,
Yes, sir.
we have some good case studies, success stories from, I think, Maharashtra also. But surely, under your able guidance, participating institution in your region particularly, Tamil Nadu, and in your region particularly, will be doing some meaningful projects. So my only last comment would be that don't look for project funding just for the sake of funding. Look for some really implementable projects and which can bring some change in the life of the community. So that's all I must comment. Right? No harm spending years with the villagers, with the community in building rapport. Once it is built, once you have full confidence, once you are involved in the process of GPDP, VDP, then come with some project proposals. That's the better way of getting some good impactful projects, right? So my advice to all PIs would be not to get in hurry and just after. So many institutions, they feel that just after joining the network, they should submit the proposal. It's not necessary. In fact, it is not called for. It is not required. But spend some time with your villages, make a good report, study it well, and then come up with the. So this is my final comment.
Thank you, sir. Many of the questions related to livelihood projects or awareness projects are coming from arts and science colleges.
Definitely, we'll take it up and see what can be done on. But
Yes,
livelihood, purely we will take it up.
Yes, sir. So these questions are generally from arts and science colleges because they are in more in number, and students are also involved in this program in my region. I think we have piloted in opening awareness program on project proposal during this cycle. Definitely, other RCIs will also follow suit with that. Thank you for opportunity given to us and sparing your valuable time to interact with our coordinators, and it will be a motivation for them to prepare a project proposal. Not only for that, they will not be hurried. Definitely, as you said, they will not be hurried. They are doing a lot of work in the adapted villages during COVID time, and when you want to organize awareness program on new education policy, they have done wonderful work really, and scatteredly there are a lot of evidences are coming that we are having interesting group to work under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Definitely, this region will contribute a lot for the development of villages as well as, and it will be a good things to UBA. And now I thank Professor VK Vijay for permitting me and facilitating me to organize this program. And I thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time and to give input for all our coordinators and motivating the people. And Mr. Rahul and Mita Bolia and Divya Katar for helping us technically to organize this program. And I also thank our Vice Chancellor in charge and the Registrar for facilitating us to carry out all our UBA programs in this region. Shortly, we will be meeting once again online for distributing these 100 computers to our adopted villages for developing rural knowledge hub. So a new proposal will be coming from Gandhigram PIs to UBA.
I would be happy to join offline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fantastic. It will be credited for Gandhigram, and you are most welcome, sir. And according to your time convenient, we will fix the date, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, participants. Thank you, learned colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.